Hi, I'm Luke McIntosh, and in this lesson you're going to learn exactly how to configure your hand or hardwire your hand to stay in tune as you get higher and higher up your neck. Not all intervals were created equally. If you've ever seen any fretted instrument like a guitar or an electric bass or a banjo or a mandolin, anything like that, you'll see that the frets and the notes get smaller and smaller the higher you get up the neck. Now the space, for example, at the 15th fret between notes is a lot bigger than the space at, say, the 1st fret. And there's a whole bunch of sciencey reasons for this, but we're not going to get into that right now. All we care about is how do we play in tune as we get higher and higher up the neck. Now this actually presents a bit of a challenge for us as bass players. If we keep using the same hand position we've been using, by the time we get up to about here, we're going to be out of tune. We actually have to configure our hand to adapt as we get higher and higher up. And that's exactly what the shifting fifths exercise is about. It's about teaching your hand and hardwiring your hand, configuring your left hand to adapt as you get higher and higher up your neck. Now there are 3 versions of this exercise. There's one that starts on an open D, one that starts on an open A, and one that starts on an open E. Now it's a very, very simple exercise. It's just shifting fifths, just like the name implies. So you're going to start on your open D and then play your A. That's 1/5. Then you're going to take this whole interval and take it up 1/2 step. So you're going to play an E flat, first finger there, and a B flat, right there. 3rd and 4th finger on the B flat. Sorry, 1st finger on the E flat, 3rd and 4th finger on the B flat. And then you do the same thing again. You go up 1/2 step. You move this whole mechanism. So E and B. 1st finger on the E, 3rd and 4th finger on the B. Now notice how your hand is just moving up like this. Now as we get higher, we're going to have to compensate and kind of contract our hand just a little bit, ever so slightly, as we get higher and higher up. Now the highest we're going to get is we're going to end up with this G. Oh, pardon me. Now you can either play that as an actual stop, or you can kind of cheat a little bit and use the harmonic. But that's as high up as we're going. So we're going to go all fifths until we get up to, and that's where we're going to turn around and come back down. So let me show you this whole exercise. I'll just grab it up on my trusty computer. And it goes like this. I'll use a bow. Turn around here. That's the whole exercise. Oh, pardon me. Now, like I said, it's just fifths, starting down here, going all the way up here, turning around when you get to your C and your G. Now this is not a very complicated exercise, but it's incredibly useful for developing the very subtle changes in hand position as you go up the neck. Now as you do this exercise, you may find that you have some kind of natural tendencies with your intonation. You might be consistently flat, you might be consistently sharp. Personally for me, I always seem to go too far in whatever direction I'm traveling. So for example, if I'm going up, I travel too far up and end up sharp. But if I'm traveling down, I'll go just a little bit too far and end up being flat. Now, once you know these tendencies, though, you can consciously kind of combat them. So, so for example, if I'm going up, I know I have a tendency to go sharp. I'll kind of bring it back just a tiny little bit mentally, just so I don't go too far. Same when I'm coming down. I'll try and make a mental note not to jump too far. Now, if you don't notice some tendencies straight away, don't worry. I'm sure you're going to notice them over the next couple of lessons. So it's no big deal at the moment. Of course, the other two versions of this practice track are exactly the same. They start on your low A and your E, and then they end up being up at your D and your G. So G on the A string, D on the D string. And of course the last one, starting on your low E and B, and that one ends up with your A and your D. So D on the E string and A on the A string. Of course, there's a new set of practice tracks underneath this lesson, as well as the notation, and I've even put in some tablature just in case reading music isn't exactly your thing. Now make sure as you're going through this to be super slow and super methodical about this. This is one place you really don't want to rush through and kind of breeze through everything. You're going to see much, much better results if you're very, very slow and very, very methodical. Also, just a quick warning, this can actually be a little bit taxing on your left hand, so make sure and warm up to this one. Don't jump straight into this, otherwise you might end up hurting yourself. And if you do end up feeling any kind of pain in your left hand at all, make sure you stop, give it a little bit of a breather, and then come back to it later. So to review, we learned about the shifting fifths exercise and how it can configure your hand to stay in tune as you get higher and higher up your neck. We talked about how not all intervals were created equally, and the notes get closer together the higher up you go. Now in the next lesson is going to be a brand new set of drones, brand new set of exercises, and you'll actually get to start playing something that actually resembles real music. Fancy that. I'll see you in the very next lesson. I'm Luke McIntosh, creator of BecomeABassist.com. Thank you so much for watching.